Many actors look back on certain films without fondness, thanks to on-set problems, disappointing scripts, and any number of other problems. Here are just a few who regretted some of their roles, movies, and decisions. The Help told the story of several maids and the families they worked for in 1960s Mississippi. Starring a packed cast of talented actresses, including Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, and Emma Stone, the film chronicled a white woman's mission to publish a book told from the perspective of Mississippi maids. Even though Davis received her second Oscar nomination for the role, she has since admitted that she has reservations about her role in The Help. Davis has never been shy about speaking her mind, and for a film that was supposed to support those without a voice, she eventually decided that it fell short. The whole experience seems best summed up by her response to Empire when asked about what it was like to wear a fat suit.
I like playing someone other than myself. You know, it's only in hindsight that I look at it and go, oh my God, why did I do that?
Anyone who's ever opened a newspaper is familiar with Garfield, a surly orange cat who loves lasagna and hates Mondays. Most avid moviegoers are familiar with Bill Murray, the comedy legend who starred in famous films like Ghostbusters, Caddyshack, and Groundhog Day. When Garfield the movie was released in 2004, it baffled Murray fans as to why the normally picky actor chose Garfield as one of his projects. As it turned out, Murray apparently assumed that the writer of the film, Joel Coen, was one half of writer-director duo the Coen brothers, and Murray wanted to appear in one of their films.
You know, I think I had a nightmare like this once.
The 50 Shades book series became international bestsellers, so popular that it basically guaranteed an eventual movie adaptation. Once it was unsurprisingly announced, Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson beat off stiff competition to play the leads. That doesn't mean they were happy with their success, though. Dornan notably hated the entire series and was fairly unsubtle about the entire thing. Even while on a promotional tour for the final movie, Dornan couldn't resist complaining about watching the final cut to Jimmy Kimmel.
By the end, I was literally watching it like this, going like, I can't bear it.
Dakota Johnson was only slightly more subtle about how much she didn't enjoy having to act in the movies, or having to pretend to be close to Dornan. While promoting 50 Shades Darker, she told Today,
I think we were kind of forced into being best friends.
Upon its release in 1984, the original Terminator film became an instant classic, cementing Arnold Schwarzenegger as a movie star and launching the career of director James Cameron. The second film installment, 1991's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, was an even bigger success than the first, thanks to its astonishing visual effects and exciting action sequences, even winning multiple Academy Awards. Viewers demanded more adventures within this action-packed universe, and studio execs have only been too happy to comply with an entire franchise which has spanned decades and has included sequels, comic books, and a television series. 2015's Terminator Genisys was the fifth installment in the series. Meant as a soft reboot, it featured Schwarzenegger's return to the franchise. What followed was a poor box office performance and a terrible reception from critics, and its planned sequel was eventually canceled, which definitely came as a relief to star Emilia Clarke, best known as Daenerys Targaryen on Game of Thrones. In fact, Clarke later told Vanity Fair that no one had a good time, not even director Alan Taylor, with whom Clarke frequently worked on Thrones. Based on an idea conceived by Will Smith, After Earth told the tale of a father and son in the distant future, played by Smith and his real-life son Jaden. The two characters spend their time leading space expeditions to find inhabitable planets and accidentally land on a damaged, dangerous Earth. As the two are separated and struggle to survive on an unfamiliar and hostile plane, audiences follow the journey of Jaden's character as he struggles to reunite with his father. Despite the star's best efforts, the film flopped at the box office and performed similarly poorly with critics. In the aftermath of After Earth, Smith admitted that the film was the most painful failure of his career, which is strong words for an actor that starred in Wild Wild West.
When you're telling this story to your grandkids, you make sure that you leave this part out.
Don't worry.
There was once a time when few actors would even consider turning down an opportunity to work with Woody Allen. He's a multiple Academy Award winner, and movies like Annie Hall, Hannah and Her Sisters, and Crimes and Misdemeanors are widely viewed as classics. However, after his controversial marriage to Soon-Yi Previn, the adopted daughter of his former partner Mia Farrow, Allen's personal life often took over headlines. In 2014, Dylan Farrow, one of Mia Farrow's other adopted children, repeated her allegations of sexual abuse at the hands of the the famous director. With the rise of the Me Too movement, Allen became a public relations nightmare for the actors and artists who chose to work with him, and they started speaking out against him in droves. Two notable examples were Greta Gerwig and Ellen Page, who appeared in 2012's To Rome with Love. Both actors have spoken out against everything from gender equality in film to their own experiences with assault, and they didn't mince words looking back on their time on the set with Allen. Gerwig has said she wouldn't work with the director again, while Page called it the biggest regret of her career. Years before the Netflix television show, there was another Daredevil live-action adaptation. 2003's Daredevil starred Ben Affleck as the blind vigilante and Jennifer Garner as Elektra, another superhero and Daredevil's love interest. On the villain side of things were Colin Farrell as brutal assassin Bullseye and Michael Clarke Duncan as the vicious crime lord known as Kingpin. Though the film performed well at the box office, it was panned by critics and remains an infamous example of one of the worst comic-to-film adaptations in the modern era. Affleck, whose career has seen plenty of highs and lows, clearly agrees, as he admitted in 2013 that he actually regrets Daredevil despite loving the character. He cited that earlier failure as one moody vigilante as the reason why he'd agreed to star as another, this time for DC as the new Batman. It's a little crazy to think that the actor who also starred in Geely could have an even bigger regret, but clearly Daredevil's botched big screen debut still weighs on Affleck. Sometimes a superhero movie can catapult an actor to stardom, even if they're already well known, like when Robert Downey Jr. breathed new life into his career by stepping into Tony Stark's Iron Man suit. Other times, however, that same opportunity can become an actor's biggest regret. Even for an actor like George Clooney, who seems impervious to professional misfortune, a bad superhero film can become a blight on any performer's career. Clooney's time as the Caped Crusader in 1997's Batman and Robin certainly proves it. Directed by Joel Schumacher, it's become a long-running joke, is routinely called one of the worst films of all time, and is the lowest-grossing live-action Batman movie to date, shutting down the entire franchise until its 2005 reboot, Batman Begins. Clooney's career didn't suffer any serious decline after Batman and Robin. He's won 2 Academy Awards, become a lauded director, and even received an AFI Lifetime Achievement Award in 2018. Still, he told Deadline in 2013 that he keeps a photo of himself as Batman in his office as a reminder of what happens when you make a movie for purely commercial reasons. As the self-made star of Rocky, Sylvester Stallone had his pick of projects for years, since he was known as an actor capable of handling action scenes just as easily as serious dramatic moments. Still, he was never exactly known for his comedy, and he shocked audiences by taking a lighthearted detour with 1992's Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. The film was an odd buddy cop outing that paired Stallone with Estelle Getty, best known for her role as Sophia on The Golden Girls. The two banded together as a mother and son team to solve crimes, a flimsy premise that was met with predictably terrible reviews. The script for the film was infamously bad, so bad that it was hard not to wonder what Stallone saw in the project. Arnold Schwarzenegger later took the blame, admitting that he feigned an interest in starring in the film to trick his action hero rival into taking the role and harpooning his own career. For his part, Stallone has made it clear that he's far from fond of this film, calling it the worst of his career and admitting that he regrets making it in the first place. Released in 1993 and based on one of the most popular video games of all time, Super Mario Bros. Set an unfortunate standard for video game films. The film was a complete failure, both critically and commercially, in large part thanks to its flimsy plot and terrible writing. However, the actors involved certainly weren't terrible. Super Mario Bros. Starred the late Bob Hoskins as Mario and John Leguizamo as his brother Luigi, with a plot revolving around a scenario that mimicked the game. Mario and Luigi had to find and rescue Princess Peach from the evil King Koopa. Hoskins, an acclaimed and well-regarded British actor best known for Mona Lisa and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, has made no secret of his disdain for the film. During a Q&A in 2011, he made it clear that the project was the biggest regret of his entire career. To his credit, Leguizamo felt the same way, but was kinder about it, praising the rest of the cast and crew for doing their best in a bad situation. Stephenie Meyers' Twilight book series was an immediate hit when the first installment arrived on shelves in 2005. The books tell the story of Bella Swan, a normal teenager who unexpectedly falls in love with a century-old vampire, Edward Cullen, at her high school. A film franchise followed in 2008, thanks to overwhelming demand, with Kristen Stewart as Bella and Robert Pattinson as Edward. The series grossed nearly $3.3 billion at the box office, creating a pop culture phenomenon for years to come. Still, throughout the series, the young actors involved seem displeased with their involvement and have treated their experience with the saga with polite distaste in the intervening years. Pattinson was by far the most vocal about his hatred for the series. Over the years, he's called Edward a prude, dissed Myers' ideas, and made it clear that he hated starring in the movies more than anybody else involved.
There's a lot of stuff in the Twilight world that doesn't make any sense. It's like, why are they still going to high school? Like, up until last year, they're 100 years old.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.